Hello, bonjour. Or should it be bon appetit? What do you think, darling?
I think it should be bon appetit.
Oh, or even bon appetit. Hello, bon appetit, and welcome back to the Boozey Bake Off, where me boozy bosom buddy, Tootight Lautrec, and I, Lady Mary Pozah, have assembled a scintillating Celtic celebration, a happy haunted Halloween, just pour vous. Yes. Now, no Celtic celebration worth its salt does not begin with a delightfully delicious drinky poo. Yes, and for that area of expertise, I shall now turn you over to post-haste to my co-host, the lovely and talented Tootight Lautrec, not only a Shakespearean wizard, but a witchy boozologist as well. Now, the floor is all yours, darling. Well, spoiler alert, the floor is where you'll find her after the show.
Spoiler alert, I started ahead of time.
Well, yes, and that's we.
Here's to a nice Celtic celebration, unless you're celebrating that Boston team of basketball players. From what I know, it's the Celtic tradition of Halloween.
Celtic?
Yes.
Well, there's a funny word, isn't it? She doesn't know how to pronounce the English language.
We've started without you, so we've decided...
And we'll finish without you.
For the Boozey Bake-Off, we're not going to be doing an entire meal, of course. We're just going to be doing tricks and treats. And since I already have my trick, we'll get right down to the treats. And we'll start with an aperitif of Irish origin. Now, why
not?
Why is Halloween a particularly Irish holiday?
Well, darling, what do you mean? Do you want me to tell the story?
Yes, please.
Well, I don't... All right. First of all, I don't know about Halloween specifically, but I know about jack-o'-lanterns. Jack, according to Irish folklore, was a blacksmith who cheated the devil several times. And when he died, he was not allowed to enter heaven, the poor dear. So he attempted to get into hell, because he heard it was hot.
Oh.
And he was turned away as well.
The boys
sort of like going to Studio 54.
Yes.
Well, turns out the devil had a tiny bit of a heart after all, and gave him an ember to light his way. So Jack carved out a turnip, put in the ember, and could see, I suppose, his path home. That's the legend. So Irish people on Halloween put out carved turnips with a little flame inside. It started off as a coal, then it became a candle. Nowadays it's little battery-operated things, you know.
And now they can haunt the countryside and the bogs and the hills of Ireland with their little updated turnip now.
Well, it turned to pumpkins when
Yes.
they discovered pumpkins in America.
Yes.
But when the Irish came to America, it became pumpkins. Pumpkins, originally from Central America, did you know that? No, neither did I. Well, apparently the seeds made their ways north, and even in the 1500s, a Canadian explorer, discovered pumpkins in Canada. No, in Canada. But he wasn't Canadian, he was from Europe. He was a Europeanist.
Let's drink to Oh Canada.
Oh, Canada. It's a very civilized country with an absolutely adorable Prime Minister. I'd prime that minister any day.
Yes, well. So the seeds have blown into the United States, and we're going to be cooking some up today as our appetizer. But before we do that, we're going to start with a little drink called St. Kevin's Garden.
Tell us the story, darling.
Thank you, I think I will. St. Kevin, of course, was an Irish saint who, one of my favorite kinds of saints, he was a hermit, and he disdained the company of all kinds of people, and he was a very holy man, and he wanted to be by himself. But
Was his name Herman?
it was Kevin.
Oh,
Hence
Kevin.
Saint Kevin.
So it's not Kevin's Hermits.
We're going to be doing Saint Kevin's Garden today. Is the name of the drink. But Saint Kevin, people caught on to his holiness, and they clamored after him, as people tend to do. And he decided, none of that clamoring for me. I'm going to go off to Glendalough and find a cave and put myself in it and live there alone, with nothing but the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees to keep him company,
and the
because
moon up above.
he couldn't handle people. And
Or a thing called love.
I know the feeling about the people, I mean. So anyway, that's the story of St. Kevin. But there's a famous, for my booktube friends, there's a famous Seamus Heaney poem called St. Kevin and the Blackbird, which recounts an instance where Kevin, in his very circumscribed cell...
Oh, he was Jewish?
No. In his very circumscribed cell, it was only a few feet high and a few feet... long enough to keep him out of the rain at night. But one day he put his hand out, and a blackbird settled into it, and having the patience of a saint...
Oh, wait, darling.
Oh, yes, there we go. Having the patience of a saint, St. Kevin kept it there while the bird
And he put a little hat on it.
hatched her eggs and brooded them and fledged them, and they flew away after many, many days or months, I suppose. But St. Kevin was there patiently holding the little blackbird in his hand. Now,
I've got it, darling.
one of the things in the poem, there's St. Kevin's motto, which is to labor and not to seek reward, which...
The story of my life.
The story of my life, too. So we're going to toast to St. Kevin. So we'll start with this lovely drink, the basis of everything, this poitín, or poitín. I don't
We don't know how to say it.
Our friend Neve, who gave it to us after coming home from Ireland one day, it's a potato-based vodka sort of thing, but much better.
Everything from Ireland
It's
seems to be
bit-
potato-based.
It's a little bit heavier and more satisfying than vodka, if you can
I've been
believe
watching
that.
me weight.
Yes. So we're going to start with that, and I will magically
Produce.
the recipe, which is all in milliliters, but we're going to try to simplify it for you. This is a recipe for only one drink, but we're going to double it, and we may quadruple it later, but for now we're going to double it, and we're going to start with 50 milliliters, or about, 100 milliliters for two, which would be 2 shots of this lovely Glendalough poitín.
50 milliliters, is that 50 each or 50 total?
That's 50 each, so it'll be 100.
100? Oh,
Yes.
good.
And
She
then-
got 100. She aced it.
For the two of us, we'll be using 20 milliliters of lemon juice. And for those of you who don't know, a teaspoon is 5 milliliters, and a tablespoon is 15 milliliters. So you could use a tablespoon plus a teaspoon or 4 teaspoons of
A
lemon juice.
teaspoon of lemon juice burns the throat as it goes down.
40
Sorry, darling.
milliliters of honey, which would be about 2 2/3 of a tablespoon.
Sort of like an Irish daiquiri, isn't it?
Yes. And mint leaves. We'll need mint leaves.
We
We'll
have
need
that.
8 mint leaves
Oh, darling.
and 4 thyme sprigs and 4 blackberries. We're going to place it all into this lovely little container, and we're going to muddle it all up.
Muddle, it's a
Big
muddle.
wooden spoon, and then we're going to garnish it.
Because
So-
we don't have a little pestle. Is that the right thing?
Yes, that's
Yes.
a pestle. That's
We don't
correct.
have a pestle. Or a pestle, as I used to say till I was corrected.
So we'll start with 4
That's 4.
blackberries.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatros. I don't know how to count in Irish. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
We want 2 shots of that, and lo and behold, they're already poured, because it's an old Irish custom that you must
before the company comes.
Yes, to make sure that it's quite all right, and it's quite all right. So we'll put the cap back on, and we'll put 2.
Do you mind if it's a fraction of a millimeter roll?
Well, we've already sampled about.
Well, that's Irish.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
and
cheers
we're
to the
just
Irish.
going to.
Cheers to the Irish, darling.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
You should never mix. Oh yes, never mind. You can mix vodka and wine. It's no problem at all.
It's not vodka, it's Putin.
Because then you have the
Putin. Wait a minute, isn't he interfering with the election?
The courage to just plop all that in there, because it just doesn't
Mint
make
leaves in
any
thyme.
different.
The honey,
And
which would be exactly how much?
40 milliliters, which is 1,
Una.
2,
Deux.
and
Et
about
demi.
2/3
Oh, 2/3, I don't know that.
of a
Deux, trois.
tablespoon, or 40 milliliters.
All right.
And then you can lick that. If
I
you'd
can't,
like.
but
Pour it
get
in.
in there, darling. There you have it.
And then, if you have it, just a little bit, just 1 eye of newt, not Gingrich, and maybe, half of a little spider hair. And for good measure, maybe one of the antennas of a spider. And
Yes,
then,
only 1. 2 will spoil it.
while Mary gets the glasses ready,
The glasses. Oh, darling.
which are in the freezer.
Yes, you want to keep them nice and cold. And there goes your recipe. Whoopsie daisy. I'm going to lose this hat, you watch.
Yes.
So you see, if you put them in the refrigerator, they come out this lovely frosted look. You can do this with a beer mug too. It's absolutely divine. So,
Also,
darling,
we might need some ice.
well, you might. I guess
chop.
I'm the sous chef today. Excuse me.
Squished in purple.
Let me in here, bitch. There we go. 2, 3, 4. And that'll be enough.
And then you find a place where they're not going to make too much of a
There's
mess.
a place
Maybe
for
over
us.
a sink.
Oh, time and mint for us.
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it like you
Take
mean
it like me grandma used to do. Well, did you know her? No, of course you didn't, silly Billy.
And we'll try not to spill
Look at
too
that.
much.
We'll try to get some out.
And if you'd like, you can have a garnish of.
Oh, that's
There you
gorgeous,
go.
dear.
If you'd like, you can have a little garnish of blackberry flower or
I'm going to
sprig of
garnish myself. Wait a
thyme.
minute, isn't 1 too much?
We could
It's
cut
an
that.
awful lot.
Cut that in half.
But it's cute, isn't it? It's cute. A little half moon.
Hold on, and I'll get my garnish done the proper way. Dear.
Which is your way, I
Yes.
suppose. All right.
And
Here
there
we
we
go.
go.
And darlings, to you,
Happy
happy
Halloween.
Halloween.
So I'll taste that. Oh. Oh my goodness. You have to be careful with this because
Delightfully delicious.
it's so strong it can grow hair on your knuckles, which it looks like it's working already. There we go.
You know, you can hardly taste the booze. That's the thing about a sweet drink, you know. They're so easy to get drunk on. Let's have another.
Well, we'll
Well,
have to save that for after. We've
all
got our
right.
wine to finish. So come in and sit yourselves down to St. Kevin's Garden, but do not disturb.
And we'll be right back after we clean up this little
Yes.
mess. Now we are ready to prepare our jack-o'-lantern. But, of course, the real piece de resistance of this jack-o'-lantern are the seeds inside. And we have this lovely
But-
little cup.
Go ahead.
This lovely little scoop, me sister, the Duchess of Newberry,
It's very,
gave us to scoop out the seeds. What are you dying to say, darling? Tell us.
I'm going to talk about pumpkin selection once you're finished. Once you're quite finished,
Please do your thing.
it's essential that when you're choosing your pumpkin, you must find the most sincere pumpkin in the pumpkin patch. And I went all up and down the ways on my broom until my broomstick was nearly on fire, and searching for the most sincere pumpkin. And now this is the one I've chosen because I looked and sincerity all around as far as the eye can see, and now we'll murder it.
I think she's quoting Charlie Brown. Or is it Linus? Who is that?
That's Linus.
That's Linus.
Out in the pumpkin
that
patch,
lovely little cartoon boy.
Waiting for the... He's real.
He's real in your imagination. And believe me, everything else seems to be imagination. So
he's as real
as we are.
He's as real as the great pumpkin.
He's as real as we are.
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
And we're as real as the great pumpkin.
Now, darling, before we get into a real Halloween bloody scene here, this is how we do it. First, we're going to cut it up, scoop out the seeds. I'll show you. You'll see.
I'll mourn for it later.
So, let's get you out of the way because Tootight wants to carve you. There you go. It's like having my own banner. Alright, so here are the seeds. That's what we got out. And all those stringy little orange things are delicious when you cook them. So don't be afraid of them getting in the mix. Alright, here we go. Simple seasoning. You want a little bit of smoked paprika. Absolutely wonderful, you'll see. And by a little, of course, I mean a lot. Try to get it in the pot, not on the table. All right? How about a spoon? Or a little of this? Well, before I stir it, a little red pepper, cayenne. Awfully good, because you want a little bit of bite to it, you see? Unless, of course, you have a friend who doesn't like hot and spicy, then you can omit it. And if you are that friend, well, hello, friend.
Then we'll omit you.
I beg your pardon.
We won't invite you over for our spicy...
Oh, well, you can't eat these, that's for sure. Little salt, as they say in Spain, yeah? Salt, and a little bit of olive oil. There you go. That way you can just put them on the baking sheet and they won't stick. Now, you don't want the oven above 350 because olive oil isn't good after 400, you see. It sort of turns into a bad chemical. So, here we are. Seeds all mixing up in the spices. Believe it or not, this is a clean pan. They say that these are better. Things cook more evenly in a dark pan. That's what the filthy say. But it's true, actually. I heard it on another cook show. Yes, there's more than this one. All right. Spread them out. So now we're going to put it in the oven, all one layered. And
For
then,
how long?
well, until it browns. Bon appetit, Hansel. Bon appetit, Gretel, darlings. Oh, were you there?
That's what we nicknamed our little treat, Hansel and
We
Gretel
named
pumpkin
the seeds.
While we're drinking pumpkin blood
Yes,
and waiting for
we
that
juiced
to...
it. We bled it dry. You know, you don't want to cook a pumpkin that has full of blood.
That's right. So it's 350 degrees preheated.
Yes, but we already
For-
had that. We did that bit.
As long as it takes...
Well, you keep
make them
checking because they,
succulent.
well, we've said that too.
A bit tart.
So sincere,
Yes.
as sincerely delicious.
Yes.
All right. Now we're going to check and see if they're done. Oh,
She is a witch, but she's not that magic. She needs a glove.
no, absolutely not. All right, I'm armed with my magic glove. Keeps away heat. Okay, and there they are. So dainty, wasn't it?
It's a little bit burnt, but
It's a little burnt, they're
just the
hot
way I
as
like
hell,
them.
but delicious. So we'll come back when they're cool and taste them.
Once upon a midnight weary. A jack-o'-lantern.
And it popped out. And when he popped out, it was glorious. Oh, wait. I was thinking of Frederick again.
It was magic.
Yeah.
We have his guts.
Yeah. Yes. These are the things that Jack is stuffed with. Isn't it lovely? Do you see? But they're so delicious.
They're quite spicy.
I do not want to eat them right now.
I do.
All right, you tell. How are they? Are they crunchy?
Do you know what?
Darling.
Do you know what you like? You want some with a little bit of oomph to it, so you get some with the pulp.
That's why I do everything
Even
with
though it
Tootight,
looks-
because it's got a little oomph.
It looks a little bit like a hairy cockroach, which it could be. Who knows?
A hairy what? I like a
Cockroach.
hairy one. Every now and then. Although now the fashion is to trim, isn't it?
Very spicy, very good. Excellent. Well, it looks like we're going to have to get a new bottle of wine.
A new bottle.
And
Or
we'll do
maybe we'll have another Irish drinky pool.
And
Happy Halloween, darlings.
we'll do our next trick. Ring, ring, ring. 2 salmon skin hand roll.
Oh, it's dinner time.
Yes, we'll be
at the
getting
sushi
sushi
ranch.
tonight.
Yes.
After all of our labor, we deserve a
Well,
little
we
break.
can't do everything and cook.
Meanwhile, happy reading and happy Halloween.
And happy spooky.
Ooh.